Welcome to part 2 of our session. Last week we had a session and today I'm going to continue the same session with some more grammar to be taught. Okay, some important chapters in grammar which are very essential, and today's we start with determiners. Determiners is that's very important. Being articles like when have you to use a, when have you to use an, and when have you to use the. So, as many of you, I don't know whether you all be knowing, but is generally used before a consonant sound. Like other than A, E, I, O, U. You know the vowels. Vowels are A, E, I, O, U. So, whenever you use a vowel, we have to use the word an. It can be an apple, an ice cream. So, it can be like that. And if is used, other than that, the consonant sounds like B, C, D, E, F, B, C, D, then what is that? F, then G, H, then not I, then the remaining alphabets. So the words singular nouns, especially with singular nouns, use a before noun. E, then again F, G, H, noun, before words that begin with G, what is that? I, then A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. No, not O, then the remaining alphabets like that. Okay. So other than A, E, I, O, U, if the first letter begins with A, E, I, O, U, you have to use an. For the remaining alphabets, you have to use So use an before nouns that begin with a vowel. So vowel, as you know, are A, E, I, O, U. So what is it? Mehul is reading a book. So the word book begins with the alphabet B. So you have to use a. Then again, would you like a peach? Because it starts with the letter C. Peach is a consonant sound. So it's P. So you have to use a. Again, is that a dog or a fox? So you, or a fox, if again a consonant sound. So you have to use the alphabet a. Then dog. And gender. The genders used for males and then for females. Then again, we saw different kinds of pronouns, demonstrative pronouns. Similarly, these demonstrative pronouns always demonstrate and particularly point out a particular object or an article. Like this, that, these, those, they are all said to be special pronouns called determiners. They are used to point out which thing or person who lives in this house. So I'm pointing out anything which you point out. You see, possessive pronouns are a little different because they point out to ownership or the what can I say, to whom a thing belongs to. Like if I say this bag belongs to me, so I'm pointing out. So that is only possessive. It can be me, then it can be hers, theirs, things like that. That is only possessive. This is demonstrative. Who lives in this house? These trousers are too short. Again, we are pointing out demonstrative. These. Then again, this car belongs to my mom. This. Again, this. I don't like these comics. So you're demonstrating and you're pointing out which person or thing it belongs to. That is only demonstrative. Does this key fit the lock? Again, we see this key. So we are demonstrating and you're pointing out. You're pointing out a particular object. That is this key. Okay. Then again, quantifying determiners. Quantifying, it always denotes quantity. It always denotes quantity. So it refers to quantity like few, many, some, plenty, things like that. Okay. So few people have been to the moon. So again, quantity, few. So we are pointing out the quantity of people who have gone to the moon so far. So few people have been to the moon. We went to Europe many years ago. We went to Europe many years ago. A few children are absent today. Again, few. Then we went to Europe many years ago. So we are pointing out how many years ago we went. Many years ago. Then several friends went with me. So several means it refers to a particular quantity of people. Several friends went with me. A few children are absent today. So we are referring to the quantity of few children, not many, not little too. A few children, one or two. So it refers to the quantity, the amount of people in a classroom. So it refers to few. Next is we went to Europe many years ago. So we are telling how many years ago we went. So that is the quantity, like many, much. I like it very much. Several. Several is like a certain amount. Then is interrogative. The word interrogative, as the word denotes, it refers to a question. What time is it? It refers to what, which, whose pen is this? Which boy is your brother? So what time is it? What do you so all it refers to it refers to a question. You will ask a question. They use before nouns to ask questions. Interrogative means question only. So interrogative determiners appear just before nouns. See, what time is it? Here, what time is it? Time is the noun here. Which boy is your brother? Boy is the noun here. So is your brother. So is your brother. Okay, so that is only interrogative. Next is possessive. As I told you, it refers to ownership of whom it belongs to. That is only possessive. Possessive means ownership or a sense of belongingness. Say, I gave my sandwich to Rupa. So I gave my sandwich to Rupa. Like, what is it? My sandwich. My sandwich. So you're stressing and telling that. My, yours, his, hers, theirs. It's their property. It's their house. So then his, hers, it's our house. Then again, is this your desk? Then Basu crashed his bike into a wall. Basu crashed his bike. Again, his. That is only possessive. Next is Mrs. Sharma keeps the house very clean. So Mrs. Sharma keeps her house very clean. So again, it refers to her house refers to her particular house. Again, numbers too are determiners. Okay. So next is numbers. Numbers are often used before nouns to tell you exactly how many people or things there are. Our family has 2 dogs. So again, numbers, 2 dogs. There are 12 months in a year. We bought these 3 pizzas. My grandfather lived for 100 years. So 100. Again, 12 months, 3 pizzas, 2 dogs. This all refers to the quantity. So these are all numbers. Those 2 are determiners only. Next is verbs. Like verbs, as you know, they all denote action. They denote nothing else but action. Like look, shout, jump, cry. What can I say? What is that? Trample or squeeze or seize, anything like that. Like we see in this this thing. Look, shout, run, jump, walk, sit, swim, throw. All this denotes action. This has one particular thing. Catch, fall. All this denotes action. So verbs means action only. So you need not worry about that. Verbs denote only action. So if you find anything which denotes action, as I told you, sit, stand, swim, throw, jump, kick, fall, all those are verbs. Subject and verb agreement. When you use a verb, you have to say who or what is doing the action. So that has to be there. So there should be a subject. Who's doing that? If somebody is kicking the ball or throwing the ball, who's kicking the ball? So this who or what is the subject of the verb. As I told you, it's a subject of the verb. That only forms the beginning of the sentence. So you find the subject always at the beginning of a sentence. The subject and the verb match each other. So they will match each other, they complement each other, they give meaning to the sentence. You say that the subject and the verb agree when they match each other. So they make a complete sentence, they give meaning to a sentence when they match each other. Use a singular verb if the subject is a singular noun. Like for example, the subjects my dad or our school or any of the pronouns he, she or it require a singular verb. Most singular verbs end in S. Look at the subjects and their verbs as the sentences are given below. You can have a look at the subject. He always drinks milk when he is hot. So he always drinks milk when he is hot. He is the subject. Drinks is the verb. Drinks milk. He always. So he is the subject. He always is the subject and drinks is the verb. She eats banana for breakfast. So eats is the verb here and she is the subject here. Mom walks to work every day. So walking is the verb here because it denotes action. And mom is the subject. To work every day. And they usually these verbs end with S. These more singular verbs, they end with S. Okay, he, she, mom and all, it refers to a singular verb and they end with it. So the verb ends with s. The third person singular form of some verbs is made by adding es at the end. Some examples are verbs that end in sh. So they have an es with it, like brush, sh, brushes, rushes, it ends with sh. So you have to add an es. Then watches, she watches television every day. Reaches, so the train reaches tonight. The train reaches the station tonight. The train reaches Chennai tonight. So reaches, it ends with ch. Anything which ends with sh or ch or x or zz, all that it has an extra es. Okay. Okay. Next one is some verbs that end in y. Buy, buy, pay, pay, say, say, then annoy, annoy, then what is that? Pray, pray. So any verbs that end in y have a vowel before the y. So they have always a vowel before the y. Before the y, just add an s at the end of these words to make the third person singular form. So we see that alphabets, that verbs that end in y. So by is a verb only. Next one is pay, that is a verb only. Then say, that is a verb. Annoy, annoy is to irritate. That too, it ends in y. They have a vowel before the y. So they have a vowel before the y. You can see annoy, it has a vowel o. Say, it has a vowel a. Pay has a vowel before y. It has a vowel a. Then by to, before y you have a vowel u. So pray, vowel before before y, which is a. Okay, so these are all important things. Then transitive and intransitive verbs. Some verbs have an object. The object of a verb is the person or thing that is affected by the action of the verb. Here are some sentences with transitive verbs. The verbs are printed in bold and the objects are printed in color. J likes apples. So J likes apples. So apples is the object and J is the subject, likes is the verb. Then again, Samarth knows the answer to the question. Samarth is the subject, knows is the verb, then to the question is the object. Answer to the question is the object. Next one, my sister cooks all our meals. My sister is the subject, cooks is the verb, and all our meals is the object. So some verbs don't have an object. As you can see, they don't have an object. A verb that does not have an object is called an intransitive verb. That is the example which is given here. In China, lots of people walk to work, but there's no object there. So all our meals in the street, all that is not given here. Okay. So the boys play in the yard after school. So there's no object at all. They don't have an object. Mr. Charu always drives very carefully. So there's no object. There's a subject. Drives is the verb. Here too, the boys play in the yard after school. The boys is the subject and play is the verb. Next is the very important thing which is called simple present tense. So something which is happening right now, that is only simple present tense. Now we move on to simple present tense, where many students make mistakes. They always confuse between the present and the past. So simple present tense means, in simple words, it refers to something, any action which is happening right now. So as we see, verbs have forms called tenses that tell you when the action happens. If the action happens regularly, sometimes or never, use the simple present tense. We always wash our hands before meals. So this is an habitual action. We see we always wash our hands before meals. Means every day before meals we are washing our hands. So that is a habitual action. Or some facts. Present tense always refers to things which happen, like facts which you can't change. Like for example, the sun rises in the east. That is a present tense. So that is a fact. That is a fact which has to be accepted by everybody. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Things like that. Okay. Next one is, Jeevan sometimes lends me his bike. Jeevan sometimes lends me his bike. So that is a habitual action. So he has been lending his bike very often. So he sometimes lends his bike. Next is present progressive tense or present continuous tense. Like I'm going to the market, I'm on my way to work. So that is a present tense, but a continuous thing. Something which is happened now or which is continuing to happen, which will happen for some more time, for a particular period. The present progressive tense is used to talk about things that are continuing to happen, as I told you. Make the present progressive tense by using am, is, or, are with a verb that ends in ing. I am going to the market. I am leaving for work, leaving, ing. I am having my lunch or I am eating my lunch. I am learning how to swim. So that action is happening right now. I am learning how to swim means I am practicing swimming right now, and this action is likely to happen or continue for a particular period of time. That is only present continuous tense. Okay. So next one is I'm watching television. So I'm watching television right now, and this I'm going to watch television for some more minutes. Then the simple past tense, which many people make mistakes, like eat means, for when you say something which happened in the past, it may be yesterday or day before yesterday, something which is over, even this morning. So that is again past tense, because it has happened in the morning, it's past tense. So I ate my lunch, I ate biryani yesterday. So something which has happened in the past. Or what is that? I walked. Then what is it? What are the other words? Cooked, jumped, ran. Run means ran. Jump means jumped. Ed of that. Kick means kicked. Eat, ate. Then what else? Run, ran. Then open, opened. Plane, land, landed. Cousin, visited. Wash, washed. Then play, played. Then these are the simple past tenses. There's a whole list of past tenses, but these are the simple. Visited. My cousin visited us last summer. So that action is over. Visited us last summer means summer is over. Our cousin's visit too was over. Next is I opened the door and looked inside. I opened the door. That is happened a few minutes ago, a few seconds ago. The plane landed 10 minutes ago. So it has already landed. So 10 minutes ago means it's past tense. So you have to be very careful when you use something, when you use a sentence that has happened in the past. So never have the habit of using the present tense or the future tense. I ate breakfast. I ate dinner. I had my dinner. So I have, the present tense for the past tense for have is had. Can is could. So things like that. Okay. Drive is drove. Drive becomes drove. Okay. Then there are irregular verbs. Many common verbs. Okay. What is it? Many common verbs. Okay. Unusual present and past tense forms. These are called irregular verbs. Like use the past progressive tense to talk about things that were happening in the past and had not stopped happening. They are continuing, as I told you. The past continuous too is like that, past continuous tense. To make the past progressive tense, use was or were. I was watching television. So the word was means it has happened in the past. So that is only was watching television. So that sentence, I was watching television, means that has happened in the past, and that action continues. I was watching television when you called me. Another sentence can be, Ben was finishing his homework when I left the house, when I left. So Ben was finishing his homework means he was almost completing his homework when I left the house, when I left, like when I was leaving. So that action, he was finishing his homework, and that will continue for a few more minutes or a few more hours. Next was, she was putting her books into her school bag. She was putting her books. So you have already seen that action. You have seen she was putting all her books into her school bag. So after you came to, she was continuing doing that action. You would have come home or you had left the scene. That action was continuing. She was putting her books into her school bag. You can also use the past progressive tense to see what was happening when something else happened. Samir was doing his maths homework when the phone rang. So when the phone rang, correctly at that spot, he was doing his homework. He was doing his homework. So, right, okay. So you are not sure, okay, to say what has happened when something else happened too. Dad was cooking our dinner when I got home. So when I reached home, I saw Dad was sitting standing in the kitchen and cooking. So that action was continuing. That is only past progressive tense. Next is present perfect tense. Present perfect tense shows action in the indefinite past. The present perfect tense is also used to show action began in the past and continuing into the present. For example, so then irregular past participles. Remember that irregular verbs don't have a simple past form that ends in ed. Irregular verbs also have unusual past participles that don't end in ed. For example, fight. The past simple past tense is fought. Fight is present tense. Fought is over, past tense. Next is past participle is fought again. Next one, have, as I told you, had. Then past participle is had again. Next one, teach, lose, lost, then lost again. Teach is taught. So you can never say, she taught me. She taught me English last year. Taught me. You can't say, when you say last year, that is a past. So you can't say she teach me last year. She taught me last year. So this is one area which I find many students are making mistakes. So be very careful when you convert present into past. Past is something, it denotes any action which happened in the past. As we saw, fight means fought, have means had, lose means lost, teach means taught, win means won. Win begins won. We won the match. That is, the match is over. And you won, the match is over and your team won the game. So that is there, okay. So next one is future. Future, as you know, very well know, as all of you all know, students, future is something which is likely to happen in the future, which is likely to happen again. So that is only to know future action, use the verbs shall and will with another verb that describes the action. I shall do my homework after dinner. I shall homework. So you're promising somebody, after dinner, I will complete my homework. I shall do my homework after dinner. But you have not completed or touched the homework. But you are promising somebody that you will complete the homework after having your dinner. Next one, I will miss you when you leave. So that person has not left the room. He has not left the room. He has not left the place. I will miss you. So you're predicting something which is going to happen in the future. When that person leaves, you're likely to feel his absence. That is what is meant here. I will miss you when you leave. Next one, we shall take the dog for a walk later. So later means not now, a little later, we shall take the dog. So you're promising somebody. So little later, we'll take the dog for a walk. That is going to happen in the future. Next one, we will visit grandma this weekend. This weekend, we will visit grandma. So that too, you're promising somebody that this weekend, you are going to visit grandma. He will be home later. He'll come home later. Next is, she will help us cook the food for the party. So the party has still not begun. So you are expecting help from somebody. He will help us cook the food for the party. So next one is, similarly, to make the negative form, you have to use the word not. I will not help you unless you help me first. So this becomes negative. I will not help you. So you are telling the opposite thing. I will not help you unless you help me first. If you help me, I will help you. That is the meaning. It won't be very sunny again until next summer. So you are predicting something until next summer comes, it won't be very sunny at all. The infinitive. The infinitive is the base form of a verb. It is often preceded by the word to. The rain began to fall. Suva and I agreed to meet this afternoon. It always preceding by the word, to, correct. I've arranged to see the doctor at 3 o'clock. So it is always preceded by the word to. Preceded. Okay, so here we see infinitive word see, fall, meet, all that. Okay. Some verbs have an object before the infinitive. Sahil asked me to help him. So before T, me is there. So we have an object to there. Help him. The teacher told us not to run in the corridor. So before what is it? Before the word to. Before the word to, this this infinitive word is used. Next is Sushma persuaded her friends to play on the team. So Sushma persuaded is to coax somebody or to ask somebody, to make somebody agree. persuaded her friends to play on the team. Next one, infinitives often appear with adjectives. As we saw last week, adjectives always describe, they give more meaning to the sentence and they complete the sentence. Like long, short, fast, dark, things like that. The boys were afraid to cross the busy road. So the word busy is the adjective here. So infinitives often appear with adjectives. Next one, I'm very pleased to see you again. I'm very pleased to see you again. So here too an adjective is there. This problem will be difficult to solve. So difficult, again the word difficult. Pleased, then afraid, busy road, okay, things like that. Then the imperative form of verbs. When you give an order or command, use the base form of a verb such as give, read or come. The base form is called the imperative. So next one is gerunds. Gerunds is a thing form of a verb used as a noun. Sometimes gerund is called a verbal noun because it comes from a verb. Running is a good way to keep fit. So here running is the gerund. Next one, Susan is very good at drawing. So it is a thing form of a verb used as a noun. Drawing is the gerund here. He loves dancing and singing. So singing is the gerund here. Have you ever tried sailing? Sailing is the gerund here. So it's a thing form of a verb used as a noun. Some gerunds can be used in front of other nouns like adjectives. A washing machine, a shopping bag, walking boots. Next is a machine this washing is called a washing machine. A bag for carrying your purchases are called a shopping bag. Then boots you wear for walking in the countryside. Then auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs, as many of you all don't know, these auxiliary verbs are very important, like can, could, may, might, then shall, should, must, things like that. So we are going to look at auxiliary verbs. Like many students are always confused, when should we use this? They are used in daily language, and can, it also refers to ability, or it also refers to when you ask permission, can I come in? So you're asking permission from somebody to enter a room. So auxiliary or helping verbs are used before infinitives to add a different meaning. For example, you use auxiliary verbs to say that someone is able to do something. I can swim. That shows again your ability. I can swim. I can sing and dance. So that shows how talented you are, what you are capable of doing. That is why you use the word can. Can always refers to ability. That someone is allowed to do something, or can be allowed to do. She can go. She can go means you are granting permission for somebody to go. She can leave now. So what does that show? You are granting permission to somebody to leave a place, or that someone has to do something. Okay, so that is only can and could. Use can and could to say that someone is able to do something. She can draw really good pictures. So what does this sentence show? She can really draw. That refers to the capability of a person. She can draw, she can sing and dance, she can draw very well. She can draw very well means it refers to capability. How capable that person, he or she, is capable of drawing. Then Piyush can run faster than Matt. That is a comparison may be done, but you say Piyush can run faster. So that shows what a big fast runner he is. His capability again. Can you ride a bike? Then you refer to can you ride a bike? So you're asking somebody whether they are capable of riding a bike. Can you help me with my homework? So you're asking somebody, can you help me with your homework? You are requesting somebody. So that too can is used. Can you let me in? So you're asking permission. Can you help me with my homework? So you're asking permission. Can you help me? Next is will and would. Will and would are asking questions. Someone to do something. Will you please stop making that noise? That noise. So you're asking somebody. Will and would are asked when you're asking someone to do something. Would you pass me that book, please? Or would you pass me the salt, please? So when you're sitting at a dining table, when you're having dinner, the salt shaker you have. So you're asking them to pass that salt shaker. So that is only, that is why you use the word can. Can you pass me the salt, please? Okay. Next one is, I will give you some more examples of where can and could be used. Okay. And may and might, things like that. So can is always used for ability, and doubt. When you are in doubt too, can is used. Okay. Can he complete the project? So you are doubting somebody's ability. First, it shows ability. When a person is able to do a particular task, I can swim, I can sing and dance. So that shows my ability. So then again, when you're doubtful, can he complete the project? Can he make it on time? Can he make it on time is you're doubting somebody's capability. So that is where can is used. And the next one is astonishment. I never thought he can do it. I never thought he can complete the project. So then again, astonishment. Astonishment means you're surprised that he's able to do it. Astonishment. Next is permission. As I told you, can you let me in? Can you grant me a day's leave? So you're asking permission from your boss. Can you grant me leave for a day? Or can you grant me a day's leave? Next is polite request. Can I come in? So you're politely asking that person in a very polite way, in full of manners. You're asking, can I come in? Next is may is used again for permission. May I come in? And then again, if not, what is it? What is it? Again with doubt, will he be able, what is that? Supposition with doubt. Must is when obligation. Obligation is when you compel somebody for the meeting. So you're compelling somebody. Obligation. Next is firm necessity. As I told you, again, shall is an intention, and supposition. Then will is again, what can I say? Will is confidence. He will do it. So you're confident that a person is able to complete the task. So I will give you examples. Okay. So first is will. The will is used to show that he is able to complete the project. Okay. So that is only where will is used. Okay. Next is, must is, she must speak loudly. She must speak loudly. So you're compelling somebody. Next is might. It might rain today. May rain today and might rain today. There's a lot of difference. It may snow tomorrow. It may snow tomorrow means like there's a 90% chance. So of it raining, you use the word. When there's a higher possibility, you have to use the word may, and when there's a lesser possibility, you have to use the word might. So it might rain today means it may rain, it may not rain. So might means lesser possibility, may means higher possibility. Okay, so that is one thing. Next is, I will give you some words. See, you should go to the doctor if you feel sick. So you're telling a person you should go to the doctor if you feel sick. So you're compelling, must. You should. Should do is again like must only. Both compelling a person, it's an obligation or an order or a command. You should go to the doctor if you feel sick. So if you go to the doctor, don't think twice. Go straight to the doctor. So you're giving that person no choice but to follow a particular rule. Next is, I must finish my homework before I can watch TV. So before I switch on the TV, using yourself again, must. I must finish my homework. So it's something which you promise yourself. That is only must. Again, next is, he might be late for the meeting because of traffic. He might be late. That is a 50, like a lesser chance. He might be late. You are doubting because the traffic is will be very heavy on that particular day. He might be late. Next is, she should have listened to her parents' advice. She should have listened to her parents' advices. Again, you're telling you're telling that person should have listened to her parents' advice. Then should have been better. Then he must be tired after working all day. He must be tired. So you're just what can I say? You're predicting something. He must be tired after working all day. Next is, She should be more patient with her children. So one person is losing a patience with her children, so she should be more patient with her children. Next is, you could have told me earlier. So this can and could, can refers, as I told you, it refers to the present tense. Mainly can is used in the present tense, and could is something which has happened in the past and which you regret later. See, for example, as I told you, you could have told me earlier. So something which has happened in the past, you have taken a wrong decision and something has gone wrong. Then you use the word could. You could have told me earlier. If you are to, what is it? Another thing is for could is, you could have invited your friends to the party. So the party is over. So after the party is over, you could have, your mother or your father is telling you could have invited your friends too. Others all came, but your friends didn't come. So you could have invited your party. So after the event is over, something which you regret or doing, that is where could is used. So could is always used in the past tense. Always remember. You could have helped me with the dishes. So the event is over, the happening is over, and then you could have helped me with the dishes means you could have helped me wash the dishes. So the event is over, and after that you regret. You could have told me earlier, things like that. Okay, so that is where modal verbs, these modal verbs are used. So, right, okay. So next one is shall and should. Shall and should, you can use shall and should to ask for advice, offer something and suggest something. Should I bring waterproof clothes? So should I bring, we are asking for, should I bring, we are asking permission, or we are suggesting something which will be useful in the future. So that is asking for advice. Should I phone the police? So you're asking advice, you're asking, offering something. Shall we go home now? So you are requesting something. Next is ought to. This ought to is almost like a command to students. Ought to, you use ought to make strong suggestions and talk about somebody's duty. You look tired, you ought to go to bed early tonight. This too is like a command or an order. Okay, I ought to get more physical exercise. You look tired, I ought to get more physical exercise means like I need more physical exercise. So I ought to is, it's again a command or something which you promise yourself. We ought to lock the door when we leave home. We ought to lock the door when we leave home. So that too is like a command or something which you promise yourself. So when we leave the door and we go out, we ought to, we should. Again, it means should only. Okay. So it's a strong suggestion. Strong suggestion to keep yourself safe. See, here the main thing is safety. When you leave home, if you want to lock the front door, that is to keep yourself safe. That is a suggestion. Okay, you ought to turn off the computer when you're not using it. So the mother or the parent is advising the child, you have to put off the computer when you're not using it, because it's a suggestion. It's a suggestion maybe to save electricity, So they are telling to switch off the computer when you don't use it. Next is must. Must is used to talk about things that you have to do. As I told you, you must do the homework. You must be there on time for today's meeting. So must is generally an order, but that's where the other person has no choice but to obey the command. Okay, so that is only where must is used. I must mail this letter today. So something, otherwise the letter may go late. You may face some other consequences, or you may lose your job. So you're telling, I must mail this letter today. So no matter whatever extra work I have, I'm going to mail this letter today. I must mail. Must, should and all, they point out to something which is an obligation in students, or a command or a respect which is followed. You must speak louder, I can't hear you. So that person on the other hand, he's keeping on listening, but he's not able to hear. So he uses the word must. You must speak louder. Otherwise, I can't hear anything from the other end. Okay, the next one is, as I told you, may or might. Use may to ask if you are allowed to do something and to tell someone that they are allowed to do something. May I go out to play now? Yes, you may. May I borrow your pen? You're requesting, may I borrow your pen? May I come in? Okay, may I go to the washroom? May I borrow your pen, please? Anything like that. So when you request something to, you can ask, you can use may, and many of you will have will have some confusion between may and can. So you can use may and can for any question too. May I come in? Can I come in? All are the same. So you're asking permission and you're asking in a very polite way so that the other person will grant your request. Okay, so that is where may I borrow your pen? Please, may I see your ticket? So the ticket collector is asking, please, may I see your ticket? Okay, John may leave now, but Sally may not. So the boss is telling, John may leave now. Now it's time for him to leave. Let him leave because he started the work early. So it's time for him to leave. Let him leave now. But Sally may not. Okay. Then verb phrases. A verb phrase consists of a verb and a preposition such as, after, into, and over. The preposition gives the verb a special meaning. Next is adverbs and adverb phrases. Adverbs are words that tell you more about verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. Many adverbs end in ly. As I told you, correct, neatly, slowly. Okay, so you may make these adverbs by adding ly to adjectives. She writes neatly, that is an adverb. The traffic was moving slowly. We waited patiently to see the doctor. Patiently, that is an adverb here. Okay, next is adverbs of manner. See, in adverbs too, there are plenty of adverbs. So, adverbs of manner, adverbs of time. So, adverbs of manner, we see they answer the question how. So, if we ask the question how, you get the answer. So, that is only adverb of time. The how the girls answered all the questions correctly. So how did the girls answer the questions? They answered it correctly without making any mistake. He was driving carelessly. So how did he drive? You have to ask the question how for adverbs of manner. So you have to note that he was driving carelessly. So how was he driving? Very carelessly. Okay, next one is the plane landed safely. How did the plane land? Very safely, without any accident or without bumping into anything, without any minor accident or any minor jerk. It landed safely. Next, Katie plays the piano skillfully. So how does Katie play the piano? Very skillfully, very wisely. She's playing the piano. She knows to play the piano well. That is the meaning. Adverbs of time. Some adverbs and adverb phrases answer the question when. They are called adverbs of time. See, we saw for manners, we saw how. We have to ask the question how. For time, we have to use the word when. We have to use the question when. I am going to my new school tomorrow. When are you going to your new school? Tomorrow. Next is the train has already left. So when did the train leave? It already left. It was already left. We moved into a new house last week. So when did you move into your new house? Last week. So you have to ask the question when. Next is adverbs of place. Some adverbs are adverb phrases that answer the question where. These are called adverbs of place. It's very sunny but cold outside. So where is it cold? It's very sunny but cold outside. Where is it cold? It's cold outside. The boys are playing upstairs. Where are they playing? They are playing upstairs. That's a ball there. That's a ball there. So where is your ball? There. It's lying there. So they are pointing to one place. So that is a place. Okay. So place always denotes to here, there, then any place in the playground, outside, inside, upstairs, downstairs. So it refers to a particular place. In, out, anything. Okay. So adverbs of frequency. Some adverbs of frequency and adverb phrases answer the question how often. They are called adverbs of frequency. Kiran practices the piano regularly. How often does she practice the piano? Very regularly. That is daily. Regularly, daily, all on a daily basis. Next one, the children always go to school on the bus. So you have to ask the question, how often do they go to the school? Or they always go to school on the bus. Always, that is the adverb there. Next is, I'll never make that mistake again. So again is the adverb here. How often? Again. I'll never make that mistake again. Next is, have you ever been to Japan? So how often have you been to Japan? Have you ever been to Japan? How often? Next is, we have been to Disneyland twice. How often have you been to Disneyland? Twice. 2 times we have been to Disneyland. Adverbs of duration. Some adverbs and adverb phrases answer the question how long. Next is they are called adverbs of duration. The library is temporarily closed. So how long is it closed? Temporarily, for a short period. Temporary means for a short indefinite period. Permanent means always. That is only permanent. So they are opposites. Temporary and permanent students, they are opposites. And here we see how long temporarily closed. We are staying in a hotel overnight. So how long are you staying? Overnight. Overnight means just that night alone, and tomorrow, not tomorrow morning. Only tonight. We are staying in a hotel overnight. Just tonight. Then the teacher left the classroom briefly. How long did she leave? Briefly. Briefly means for a short period. Next is adverbs of emphasis. That is where you emphasize or you stress on something. We have seen that most adverbs describe verbs, but remember that some adverbs also describe adjectives or other adverbs. They are usually used to add emphasis. Anil can run really fast. So how can he run? Really fast. Next is, that's a very good drawing. Very good drawing. So very is the emphasis here. It's a good drawing, but it's a very good drawing. So you're emphasizing on, stressing on something. Next is, my rice is too hot. Too is the adverb of emphasis here. Too hot. How hot is it? Very hot. Too hot. The film was just terrible. Just is the adverb of emphasis here. Just terrible. It's just terrible. Then your excuses are completely unbelievable. So excuses are completely. Next is prepositions and prepositional phrases, as we saw, in, on, at, things like that. Prepositions are words that show a connection between other words. Most prepositions are little words like at, in, on. Prepositional phrases are groups of words such as out of and on top of. So it always refers to the position of a object. Okay, it can be in the classroom. The children are in the classroom. On means on top of. Then what is the other one? In, on, and at. Okay, so at, in, and on. Preposition or adverb. Some words can be used either as prepositions or as adverbs. If the word is followed by a noun or it is a pronoun, it is a preposition. Okay, so next is prepositions of place. Some prepositions show where something happens. So here we see Salim was sitting under a tree. Where was he sitting? He was sitting under a tree. So under is the preposition here. So as we saw, there are different adverbs. Similarly, prepositions too, there are plenty of prepositions. There is a wooden floor underneath the carpet. There's a wooden floor underneath the carpet. Underneath the carpet, there's a wooden floor. Underneath is the preposition there. Preposition of time. Some prepositions show when something happens. At 9 o'clock, they are called prepositions of time. So usually when you refer to time, children, you have to use the word at. The tree. I reach Chennai at 9 o'clock. See here, school starts at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock is the time. So you have to use the word at. Don't use in or on. In 9 o'clock. On 9 o'clock. Okay, so I brush my teeth in the morning and at night. In the morning and at night. Night again refers to the time. Okay, so we are going to the zoo on Saturday. We are going to the zoo on Saturday. So on is used again. It's a on Saturday. Saturday on is the preposition here. Prepositions of direction. Some prepositions show where something is happening or going. They are called prepositions of direction. The boys chased after each other. The boys chased after each other. After is the preposition here. The football rolled down the hill. Down is the preposition here. A man was walking his dog along the river bank. Along is the preposition here. Next one, conjunctions. As we saw, conjunctions. Conjunctions are words used to link words, phrases, or clauses. Some common conjunctions are and, but, or and, but, or, and these conjunctions, they link a sentence. That you have to note down, students. These conjunctions are very important, and you can use because is usually used in a sentence to give the reason. He did this because he is like this, because he was sick. He didn't come to class today because he was sick. So the reason is given. The reason is he's sick. We will see in these conjunctions, they too are very important, because conjunctions too are very important lesson in grammar. Okay, so we like going shopping and visiting museums. So and is used. There are two activities which are happening in the sentence, children, students. So one is shopping, going shopping and visiting museums. So to connect two activities, and is used. See, there are two activities. If you note, one is going shopping, next is visiting museums. So then when there are two activities, so to connect that, to write, it's in addition, and this is in addition. One is we are going shopping, next is we are visiting museums. So when there are two activities in a sentence, you have to use the word and, then only the sentence becomes complete. Next is, I tell my parents and my best friend all my secrets. So you're telling two people your secrets. One is, I tell my parents, you're telling all your secrets. Next is your best friend. So there are two people involved. You note down in that sentence, so you have to use and. Okay, I like to sing and dance. So you're doing two activities, sing and dance. I like to shop and eat and dine out. So there are two activities. One is shopping. I like to shop and dine out. Dine out means going out for lunch or for dinner. So that is two activities at the same time. So you have to use the word and. I like tea and coffee. So and is used because you like two beverages, tea and coffee. I like tea and both tea and coffee, or tea and coffee. Okay, conjunctions with lists. Use the conjunctions and or with lists of words. Okay, to put a comma between the words, they use and or between the last two words. If you see these sentences, we bought milk, eggs, cheese and butter. So the whole list of things which they bought, and is used because you have to, it's in addition. We bought milk, eggs, cheese and butter. So to list out all the things which you bought, you have to use the word and. My favorite teachers are Mr. Sharma, Mrs. Chanda and Mr. Parekh. So the whole list of teachers is given here. Mr. Sharma, Mrs. Chanda and Mr. Parekh. So if you want to name out all your favorite teachers, you have to use the word and. And is always used in addition. When you keep on adding more and more names, more and more characters, you have to use the word and. Next is, in the morning I get up, I take a shower, eat breakfast and brush my teeth. See all the activities which you do in the morning. So if you list out all the activities, like getting up, that is an activity. Taking a shower, that is an activity. Eating breakfast, that is an activity. And brushing your teeth finally. So if you want to list out a whole lot of activities or a whole lot of names if you want to give, you have to use the word and. Conjunctions that join sentences. Conjunctions are also used to join two sentences to make them one. Here are some examples with and, but, or. Mom is working in the garden. Dad is busy in the kitchen. So if you want to link or join two sentences, mom is working in the garden and dad is busy in the kitchen. So one person is working in the garden, mom, and dad is busy in the kitchen. So dad is busy in the kitchen means two activities, two different people are doing. You have to use the word and. I will be visiting you and your parents. I will be visiting you and your parents means two people are involved. I will be visiting you and your parents when I come to Chennai. So you and your parents, two people, two sets of people. So you have to use the word and. Conjunctions of time, the conjunctions before, after, since, until, when, while, as, and as soon as are used to say when something happens. They are called conjunctions of time. For example, take the toy out of the box before you throw the box away. So before you throw the box away, take the toys out. Otherwise, you might throw the toys too away. So he's cautioning, one person is cautioning somebody. So that is where before is used. Before you leave the house, be sure that you have got your backpack. So before you leave the house, before you lock the door and go, make sure that you've got your backpack too. After locking the house, don't search for your backpack. That's what, after leaving the house. I usually do my homework after I have my dinner. So after I have my dinner only, I do my homework. Next one, after I went to bed, I heard a strange noise downstairs. After, so again after is used here. I heard a strange noise downwards. Next is conjunctions of place. The conjunctions where and wherever are used to talk about places. They are called conjunctions of place. Does anybody know where Mr. Karan lives? Where the road is narrow, big trucks can't get through. So this too, it's a place. Does anybody know where? Mr. Karan, where is the conjunction here? Next is where the road is narrow, big trucks can't get through. So that too refers to a place. Conjunctions of reason. The conjunctions because, since. Since is usually since 1990s. That is from that year. Then as, and, in case, tell why someone does something. They are called conjunctions of reason. I sat down because I was feeling tired. So you are giving the reason. Because I was feeling tired. Because is usually used to give the reason. Next is because we arrived late, we missed the beginning of the play. So because we arrived late, we came rather late. So you're giving the reason. We came late, so we were not able to see the beginning of the play. Already it was over. Next is, I took an apple since it was the only fruit in the bowl. So other things were there in the bowl. I took the apple because it was the only fruit in the bowl. So you're giving the reason. So since you have finished your homework, you can help me make dinner. So here too you're giving the reason. You have already finished your homework, so help me with dinner work. Conjunctions of purpose. The conjunctions so that, and, in order to, they tell what the purpose of something is. They are called conjunctions of purpose. The children are wearing hats so they won't get sunburned. Next is, John finished his homework before dinner so he could watch his TV program. So these two are conjunctions of purpose. Next is sentences. A sentence is a group of words. As you all know, sentence is like in Tamil as we say vakyam, that expresses a complete thought. So sometimes sentences always have a subject and a verb. She is working. She is the subject, is working is the verb. And it's a sentence. Next is, he is reading. The children are playing. The children is the subject and are playing is the verb. They are singing. So they is the subject, are singing is the verb. 4 kinds of sentence. A declarative sentence makes a statement. An interrogative sentence asks a question. Always interrogative means it asks a question. And an exclamatory sentence makes a very strong statement called an exclamation. An imperative sentence gives an order. So sentence with objects. Sentence with objects, the subject of a sentence often does something to another person or thing. The person or thing that receives the action of the subject is called the object of the verb. Verbs that have objects are called transitive verbs. Simple sentences. A clause is a group of words that contains one subject and one verb. A sentence that consists of one clause is called a simple sentence. The girls are playing baseball. Sally found a good hiding place. I'm eating my breakfast. Tom is wearing his new shoes today. So these are all single simple sentences. Okay. Compound sentences is, they contain 2 clauses joined by conjunction, such as they joined by conjunction such as, and, or, but, or so. Do you want coffee or would you prefer lemonade? So this is generally joined by as, and, or. Or is the conjunction here. Do you want coffee or would you prefer lemonade? So this is one conjunction. You're asking a choice. You're asking something to somebody. Is that a bird or is it a plane? So you're looking at something from a distance. You're asking whether it is a bird or a plane. Next is, John is good at English, but he's not very good at maths. Here too, but is used. So that is a conjunction. Correct. Next is, Michael wants to see Star Wars, but his friends have already seen it. Again, it's a compound sentence. Then conditional sentence, as you told you, it will come with a condition. To talk about things that are possible, you often use it in a sentence. A sentence with if is called a conditional sentence. If usually comes with a condition. If you do this, I will do this. So it's a condition given. So I like ice cream. Mitesh is my brother. So next is positive and negative sentences. A positive sentence tells you about something that exists or something that is happening. I like ice cream. Mitesh is my brother. The train leaves at 5 o'clock. So when you're positive of something happening, when you're very sure of something, these positive sentences are used. And negative sentence contains the word not or not, another negative word that is not happening. That is only negative. Tushar isn't as tall as Alex. So it's a negative sentence. So you're telling he's not as tall as Alex. Next is, we didn't hear you shout at us. So we didn't, that is negative again. We didn't hear you shout at us. Next is, Meera hasn't read the Harry Potter books. So Meera hasn't, that is again a negative sentence. Then questions, there are two kinds of questions, yes or no questions and questions, question word questions. Question word questions are, what is your name? What day is it today? Which boy is your brother? Which house do you live in? Then who's the boy near to Alan? Or who of whom did he ask? Who did he ask? Question tag. Sometimes people finish what they are saying with a short question. Why do they do this? Because they want to know if the person they are speaking to agreed with them. The short question is called a question tag. Like, use a helping verb and the subject of the sentence to make the question tag. Tom is older than you, isn't he? So we are asking what they are asking with a short question. Why do they do this? Because they want to know if the person they are speaking to agrees. Okay. If the main part of the sentence has I am in it, you use aren't I in the question tag. I'm your best friend, aren't I? So you are telling somebody something and you are asking that person to, you are doubting. Next is, if the main part of the sentence is negative, the question tag is positive. You expect the answer to a question, positive question tag to be no. These questions aren't very difficult, are they? You haven't read the book, have you? What is it? Peter isn't as tall as I am, is he? She isn't 8 yet, is she? Then these aren't many clouds in the sky, are they? So these are the negative sentences. If the main part is negative, the question tag is positive. Okay.